everybody. Welcome to episode 24 of the Unwrapped Leader Podcast, where we get raw, real, and relevant in the new network marketing and helping you become a gifted leader in your business. My name is Teisha Dorianna from Canada.
And I'm Dracy Dewar from Australia.
And today's episode, we do have a very special guest that we're very excited to introduce. But before we bring her in, we just wanted to do a quick recap from the past week with the Unwrapped Leader and what we've been up to. So first and foremost, let us know in the comments right now if you guys are watching live or if you're catching the replay later, just comment replay. But we also want to know who had a chance to get in on our masterclass this past weekend. Dracy and I were, preparing really hard for this, and it was a great turnout this past Saturday in Canada and Sunday in Australia, where we delivered our first masterclass on unwrapping your brand. We actually equipped everyone with a wonderful workbook that they could work through. And then within 72 hours, we also had a fun after party. So if you see this fun background right now with the wine, the disco ball, the party stuff, this was what we created for the after party. We did some fun trivia for those who attended. We also gave away some awesome prizes. We had a Q&A and answered questions, and we did get it all recorded. So don't worry if you guys didn't get a chance to attend the masterclass, but you were on that registration form, you will get the replay. And we do still have the link as well for the Unwrapped Leader masterclass, where we did on the branding, the recordings there. We have the recording too from the after party with the Q&A for those of you who did have questions. We did answer everything that we did on there. So you'll still be able to check it out. We'll make sure to put the links below when this gets uploaded to YouTube. And then also live. Dracy, did you say you were commenting the links or?
I'm trying to. I'll put that in the links for sure.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, and I guess what else was really exciting this week is we were honored to be a special guest for a fabulous company called Juice Plus, the CEO being Celine Egan, who happens to be one of our reviews in our book, and she actually was one of our editors. I don't know if you call it editor, but she was able to give us feedback. She was one of the very first people to actually read it, give us feedback, and actually really enhance the gifts this industry has and how we actually put each one of our topics and chapters of being a gift, the gift of patience, the gift of mindset. And so she was a big influence. But also what was really great to be able to speak to their audience is because it was over a year ago that I got to be a guest at their convention and sit in the back and just see after COVID, they were one of the first companies to create their actual convention. And I sat there and I was so inspired and impressed by their distributors, their audience of partners on stage, because they were young. They were all into social media. They were showing up online with these amazing content and followers, but even creating communities. And they were the ones that actually inspired me to reach out to you, Teisha, to learn more about social media, to say, okay, this is it. I need to level up and let's level up together. And how can we do this? Which really inspired the book. So it was really great to go and share our book and share what inspiration they gave me and what you and I have been able to create out of that. So now not only have we been able to launch our brand, our book, but also our business around our masterclass and everything else to follow. So, and the thing I think I'm most proud of all of this is the fact that we now can bring our values and our vision and our voice to an audience like this on the podcast and be able to bring in speakers who are actually going out there and doing it, especially in the new network marketing. And I know this special guest has come in since social media has been primed for new network marketing and is doing a fantastic job. So Teisha, bring it on.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dracy, for that. So before I bring in our special guest, I do want to say a little bit about her. She has been new to this she has been exposed to this new network marketing, but she's been able to do some amazing things since coming into the industry. So a few things. She was actually the fastest distributor in her company to hit the group director rank in just 4 months. So that means promoting to a leader and then promoting even more numerous leaders on her team. That's incredible. She's earned all the incentive trips since starting in her company. And a recent one, I think it was a year ago, to the Bahamas. She earned that in 4 months, which is insane. She's achieved top 3 in recruiting in the USA for 2 years. And she's also achieved top 5 in team sales for 2 years. So I'm super excited to introduce you to our lovely guest, Allyson Morris. Let's bring her in here. Woohoo! Hey, Allyson!
Hi, ladies. Oh my gosh, I'm so
How are you?
I am very good. It is so nice to see you guys again.
Well,
So
it's
nice
great
to
to
see
have
you.
you. Yay.
Loving your pink shirt. So I have to tell you guys a bit about Allyson and how I actually met her. So I did meet Allyson through this industry. And that's one of my favorite things about this industry is all the incredible people that I get to meet. And with Allyson, the first thing that stood out to her actually was something that someone told me about her. And it was not anything specific. I remember someone just told me, you remind me so much of a girl on my team named Allyson. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I was kind of wondering why. I remember checking out her Instagram and I'm like, oh yeah, she's pink, just like me. She's the pink queen. We could see that. And I purposely didn't wear pink today because I'm like, she's the center of attention. She's our guest. She is the pink queen today. So I wanted to let her be that girl. And so Allyson, when I first met her, the one thing that stood out about her was her lively energy. And I always saw that just even through online, like she's from the US, I'm from Canada. So obviously we didn't meet right off the bat, but we did chat a lot and her energy was always just so out there. And that's what I loved about her because I felt like we just matched. Our energies just matched. And so I loved collaborating with her. But when I actually met her in person, I was like, holy shit, this is like, her energy was like on steroids. Like it was incredible. I loved it. Some people might say it's a lot and it is a lot, but I absolutely love it. And I think that's what makes people stand out. And that's what makes people so amazing. But on top of that, another thing that I've grown to know about her is that she's everyone's cheerleader. She is your number one hype girl. And she truly is a woman empowering other women in this industry. She's a strong, fierce female. And that's, one of the reasons too, that I was like, we need to have her on this podcast because she is someone that represents everything about true leadership. So I'm so excited to have Allyson Morris on our podcast today. And we are actually going to be talking about systems that create success in this industry. And we're going to be talking about setting up systems in every single area of your business. Just to take your business, your team, if you're a new leader, to the next level. Because let's face it, when we don't have systems in place, that's when business gets stressful. And when we do have systems in place, that could bring us to success. So I am so excited to pick your brain. I'm so excited to learn a bit more about what you do for your business, for your team. So I think we should just start off with Allyson. Tell us a bit about yourself, your journey getting into network marketing, and what even brought you into getting interested about creating systems for your business and your team.
Oh my gosh. Like, first of all, wow. Like I can just hang up my hat now. Teisha Dorianna and Dracy Dewar have already put their stamp of approval. My whole life is made. Thank you so much. It is an honor to be here.
You're welcome.
Like Teisha said, we connected and through Teisha, I've met Dracy and having this platform to share what all of us are so passionate about is an honor. So thank you, first of all. So how I got started, systems, a whole 9 yard. I'm nervous. My hands are sweaty. So I'm so sorry if I stutter.
You're going to be great. You're going to be great. You just share what you do.
And I really want the audience to know how long you've been in the business to be taking this super serious. Like this is, I think, really important for them to know. So
absolutely.
Hand on heart, you got this, girl.
Thank you. I was introduced to the company I'm currently partnered with through some mutual friends. And I was seeking something because I was struggling with the realization I was about to be an empty nester. So I have a huge corporate background in oil and gas finance, right? I was in a room, I was negating tax accruals on vessels, right? Like you could not get more boring than that. And my body
I don't even know what that means.
For the love of Pete, get me out of this room, right? And so in 2010, I hung up those corporate heels and I stayed home to raise my 3 daughters. And I am in Texas in the United States. And I was a mom. So pardon me, I got something on my lip. Sorry, there we go. In 2010, I said, I got to be a mom full time. So I served on all the boards. I got out there, I met all the people, and I loved the community of being a mom. Well, what happens when your kids graduate? Like you lose a lot of that community. And I was suffering. I was struggling with the idea that I was about to have no footsteps in the house, no more sleepovers, no more banquets, no more anything. And I needed a community. And so network marketing was introduced to me to have a community without having to go back into corporate America. So that is how I got involved with network marketing. But I did it in January of 2020. I thought about it for about 6 months. So I really did just take the deep dive into network marketing. I went all in January of 2020. And by the end of 2021, I just knew this opportunity held such an incredible power for women and men and across the world, right? And so it was in 2021 that I realized that we had something very special to offer through network marketing. And if I wanted to provide to women what I wish was available to me in my life to change my personal journey, I wanted to be the vessel that carried women and gave them that hope and the way to deliver them to success. So real quick, my story is in my first marriage, I'm in my second marriage, I had 3 daughters. And when I was pregnant with my youngest daughter, who's now a freshman in college, out of state, by the way, I filed for divorce because I knew that I was stuck. And I only stayed that long because I was stuck. And I'd finally reached a point in my career. And even though I had this fancy title, I was still robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like, I did not always have enough money to cover daycare because my parents didn't live near me. I had to pay daycare. I had to pay the gas bill and the water bill. And I remember thinking, I can't pay them all. And there was a part of me that almost wanted to stay just for that security. And all that to be said, the realization hit me like a freaking tidal wave when by 2021, I knew, holy shit, if I had this back then, I can't even imagine the different life I would have had. So network marketing, joined it in 2020. It showed me what we could do. It showed me the power. I wanted to serve. The women on my team are the heartbeat behind what I do. I want to give them every tool and every resource to get them to whatever that is for them. Is it freedom? Is it financial success? Is it getting out of a toxic relationship? Is it confidence? Like, what is it that they need? And so that's when I knew I had to pull back just a little bit, create some very structured systems so that women could do what I did and they could see themselves through me. Because it's hard, and as a leader in direct sales, network marketing, for people to look at those at the top, right? They're like, I'm never going to be that person. I'm never going to hit that income. And the reality is they're not any more special than you and me and everybody else. It's just who has provided them the insight and the systems to take them where they want to go. So that's my story with network marketing. That's my, the grit, like, for just getting women to the other side. It's like such a fire for me because I've been there.
Wow. Well, honey, first of all, I want to highlight a word you just said, grit. Okay. And Teisha, forgive me, but I did read a book and it was Mary Kay Ash, You Could Have It All. And she talked about grit, and grit stood for girls that are raised in the South. And that is you, girl. And, you highlighted the fact you come from corporate America. You've got the background of systems in place, and then you come into the new network marketing and you knew that there was an opportunity here for you. And so you've taken that past experience. You are where you need to be at the right time, with the right people, with the right opportunity right now. And so what you've done is you've now blessed the industry because oh my God, you've come in 2020, just pre-COVID, and you've been able to dive in and figure your way out like you have. And so you created these systems. So a question I have is, what would you start? Like, coming in is, how would you start the system? Like, how did you start that system coming into a new leader? Like, what did that look like for you?
Yeah. So, when I joined, there wasn't a lot of systems. In fact, I would challenge, were there any? And so I knew my struggles, right? I knew when I was like, how do I do this? And I'm just told these one-off sentences. And it's like, oh my gosh, Allyson, you've invested, you got to figure it out, right? And so what I did when I realized that we got to take this to the next level is I sat down, and this is what I encourage everybody to do that realizes the importance of systems and the power that systems hold, is to sit down and write down all the activities that you do in the different areas of your business, right? When you have a new team member join you, what is every activity that you do with that new team member from the day they say, send me the information to sign up, to the day that they officially, launch their business? Like, what are all those steps? The same with like your customers, what are those questions that you answer on repeat? What is that information that you provide on repeat? And then if you're in a party-based business, and you have a hostess, you're doing the same stuff. Like, what are those activities that you do to set your parties up for success? So I say, sit down, categorize the areas of your business that you want to streamline, and then brain dump it, pen, Unwrapped Leader pen and paper, and brain dump every activity you do, right? Don't think about it. If you've ever done it in that area, get it on paper. That's what I did. And then you take a look at that list and you say, where am I wasting time? Where am I having the same conversations? Because when you onboard a new team member, when you have a customer that, you're onboarding your customer, and when you have bookings and hostesses, y'all, like Teisha and Dracy, y'all know it's the same steps. You're just saying them to multiple different people, right? And then the last part of that is, how can you automate it? How can you stop having, so for example, if you have 5 new team members a month or 3 new team members, and you're getting them all started at different times in the month, how much time would you estimate that you waste having that same conversation? How to get into your online office, how to set up your direct deposit, how to create all the stuff that goes with your company. It's the same conversation, but you're doing it in triplicate or even more if you're sponsoring more than 3 people a month. So how can you automate those areas? And then that, once you identify the actions in an area of your business, you figure out how you're wasting time, and then you kind of put together a plan to automate it, create a one and done system. You have the foundation of your system, and that is where you start. That's where I started, and that's how I identified the areas of my business that I needed to streamline. It's been a game changer too, Dracy, because I used to get on that phone, and I think you both can attest that when you have a new team member, you feel obligated to be at their beck and call. You feel obligated to carry them and to give them everything and word vomit. A system eliminates that. You're like, hey, you've simplified it. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So I'll use my new team member. Last year, I took a big step back from sponsoring because I realized there was a hole in my business as I was wasting so much time. And I developed a 30-task onboarding. It has changed the game for my new consultants. It has helped me identify the hobbyist and the runners, and they can do it in their own pace, right? They can do it 1 at a time to do it in a month. They can do it 5 a day. They're in control of how they join and get their business started. They have my support. I'm available to them, but it has opened up hours of my life that I desperately didn't realize I was giving away until I put the system in place.
Well, I definitely love the one and done. That is a great tip. I wrote that one down.
One and done.
And I also think like people learn, like as a new business builder in this industry or a new leader, like people learn as they go, like whether you came into this and you were, given an onboarding system or not, there's always going to be things that people say coming in. Like I had such a supportive upline, like Dracy, you were my upline. You gave me more than enough to help me. But I think there's still things that I would say like, oh, I wish I had known this when I started. And everyone's going to have their own thing because everyone learns differently. Everyone goes at their own pace. So I think that's so important too, is to just, be a creator and recognize those things that you wish you had known and create your own system from it. And even today, like my company, there's systems in place, but I still want to give my own. I still want to create, and I still know what I wish I had taken. Right. And I think that's also what sets apart people who are successful and unsuccessful, is people will create their own things. I'm not saying you have to reinvent the wheel, but there's always going to be things that I feel like you take pieces from different people, and that's how you create your own. Dracy, what is that term again? You told me when you take from everyone and you create your own. You always told me about it.
It's called the Bruce Lee philosophy. And so what makes Bruce Lee famous is that he studied from many masters. And what the thing is though, in the martial arts, they're only to study one master, but he was the one that no, I want to study from these different masters. He took the best out of each master and he created his own personal philosophy. So that's why I think it's fantastic to go and study from different people at different times in your career and take the best in it and create your own personal philosophy. So there you go, Teisha.
I think we all do that, whether we realize it or not. We all, we create our own, but it all comes from all the knowledge we've learned out there. So, okay, my next question then for systems. So there's so many systems you can make. There's so many things that I feel like we do on repeat that we would just love to automate. But if you had to say 3 systems that you would focus on in your business, whether that be a new leader or even just new to the industry and you're looking for ways for, to have that effective like time management in your business, what would be 3 that you would focus on in your business? Yeah.
As for from a leader perspective, I think your new team member onboarding is your priority. I think when you get to the nitty gritty of successfully launching a new business partner, a new distributor, that's your gold. That's your golden ticket, right? When you master that. So I think that was mine as a leader. However, if you're a brand new distributor, right? And you're like, I really want to grow. Well, that all starts with your customer. You've got to develop a system for your customers. What does your customer journey look like, right? And I gave an interview with Teisha at our conference, and I went through my customer journey, and I'm telling you, I had so many people reach out and have implemented it and seen such success, because the main thing about these systems is they are duplicatable, right? Like Teisha said, like you're learning, and like you said, the Bruce Lee, you're like pulling from everybody. My team is taking systems from me, they're taking systems from others, from the company, and they're developing their own to create their customer journey. But I think walking your customer from, hey, thanks for purchasing this, all the way through that follow-up of, are they using it? Do they like it? Are they booking with you? Are they joining your team? You've got to master that customer relationship, because that's at the core of your success. That customer, that transaction could ultimately be your next rock star on your team if you serve them on the front end the way they deserve to be served. So onboarding new team members, definitely your customer journey. And then if you're in a party-based business like I am, you've got to have a streamlined, simplified, automated system for your hostesses to have successful events. So from the day they say, sign me up, Allyson, I want December 3rd, there should be a system that you automatically trigger that walks them through everything until that event closes and you're sending out the thank you cards. Those would be the 3 that I personally would recommend. And what's great is the customer journey and the hostess journey, the booking journey, can be done as brand new distributors. Like, you set your parties up for success, you're booking after booking and you're multiplying. You deliver an incredible experience, and that hostess is going to get 3 out of that booking. Then your calendar is going to go to 6 the next month. The next month it's going to go to 18, because you're triplicating out of because you've mastered service, right? So those would be the 3 I would recommend.
Wow. Okay, I have a quick follow-up question on that. So would you mind, you don't have to walk us through the whole thing, but would you mind like giving us even like a day in the life, like a customer places an order with you, or even the system? I think people would be interested in hearing like what kind of systems you use for this, and is it like something free that you use? Is it a paid? If you don't mind sharing that. No,
not at all. So for my team, I have a website, and that's an investment. I build courses, and so they have that there. Customers, I use Gmail. It's free. So in Google Docs, I have all my emails, like my thank you. I give them an ebook to the recipes based on the season. Like, there's a series of emails that they get, right? So it's, oh my gosh, it's so automated. I don't even know the order anymore, y'all.
But I think that's good. I think it's good though that you say you got your Google Docs, you got your email system, so you've set up a flow that they follow, and it's free, totally free. But in Google Sheets, that's where I track my customers. So in my system, we get an email confirmation of an order, but every morning I sit down and I go to my customer history and I see what orders came in. And then I transfer their name and their order date. I don't track what they ordered. I don't need to know what they ordered for my system. I just need to know they ordered. And then from there, I can plug in the dates of when I need to trigger the next set of emails, right? I know that there are systems that can automatically send them, but guys, I haven't taken the time to do that. And I don't think it's necessary. The system's super simple, but super effective. I sit down for 30 minutes a day for customer follow-ups. I pull up my spreadsheet and I just go down the list of the dates. And once it's knocked off, it's highlighted a color. So the white spots are really bold. And I know that, okay, today I need to send this email to this customer. I go to Google Doc, I copy, send it, next, copy, send, next, copy, send, next. And I walk them from thank you for the order to here's your tracking number. I'm going to follow up once it's, you get it.
And then I follow up after it's been delivered, and I make sure that they've opened it. It's not sitting on their counter. I make sure they're using it. I make sure they like it. And then I follow up after that to see how they're enjoying the product. So that is the very simple system that's totally free.
And you do that with such enthusiasm, and so this would be this, and I think I can see the value in what you're doing. I know this that makes a difference, and it allows you, to frees you up time to do other things. So this is why automated systems can and have been labeled as cold and say robotic. So what is it that you do to work around that mindset of it? What is it that you do to make it that special high touch? And before I let you answer that question, I just say I really want to honor you, because we talk about the daily disciplines, your daily method of operation. So thank you so much for being so open to sharing that. And, one of those, things as we talk about the 6 C's, and that one of those C's is being able to follow up with you doing your customer care, looking after your customers and your VIP. And so I just want to say an honor for you for doing that. But tell us about your high touch, so people can because clearly you got a high touch in there, that you're honoring them and spending the time with them. You're selling your position in the sense you've made it so simple that you can actually high touch them with the things that matter.
Yeah. So to touch on the mindset question, I think there's a few mindset obstacles that people have as they involve systems. And like you mentioned, cold and robotic, I think is the one that we all feel. I know that you and I have all received, we'll sign up for something and we get that immediate message or that immediate response, and it is cold and there is no personalization there. And it's just it's a quick little jab, and it's you don't feel like you're valued, right? So for me, I know that automation can feel cold, but you can actually warm it up through so many ways. And I think you can activate a warm automation, activate an automation with warmth through the use of video. I mean, my emails to my customers, my first email to them is me, 3 minutes, saying, "Hey, I'm Allyson. Thank you so much for coming and sharing and allowing me to share my passion with you guys," right? And that video puts a face with a name and a person, right? It's not just a cold message. So I think video can activate warmth automation to me, in my opinion. And I also think verbiage. I also think the way that you speak and the way you don't have to be clinical, right? This is not a clinical situation. This is a consumer. This is not a transactional situation. This is hey, this person is looking to solve a problem with my product, and I want them to know I'm a human on the other side of this that relates to their problem. And you can convey that in your messages through verbiage and video. The other thing that I think people really struggle with systems, and this just came to mind, is I hear on repeat, I get asked weekly. I got a message today, actually, from a teammate or a member of my same company asking to sit down and help them build some systems. And it happens almost weekly at this point. And there's this fear of, I'm not qualified. I don't know how to do this. It's intimidating. For some reason, when people think system, they think like, I don't know, what do you do in a back office of building software? What's all that coding and stuff? I don't even know how to spell coding, much less do coding. And so I want people to realize that, get your mindset and shift it from oh my gosh, I'm not qualified for that, to how can I really simplify my day? How can I change how I'm spending my time? That's going to allow me to love on my customers, serve my customers, and grow my business better if I have a system. So I have a leader right now who's amazing, y'all. She has a servant's heart, and she's so special to me that she will spend 3 to 4 hours a day on the phone with her team, and she is exhausted. It is draining. She wants to be there and serve, but she can't serve them and her family and her own business. And so we meet in a weekly mastermind, and we're building her system right now. And she said to me, we meet on Thursdays. Last Thursday, she goes, "Allyson, I always thought I had to know how to do so much more, but this is really just," I made her take a note. She had a conversation with a new team member. I said, "As you tell her something, I want you to write on a sheet of paper what you tell her." And she has been writing down her conversation, and now she's built a system, right? So systems are nothing more than you simplifying your daily conversations on repeat. So change that mindset, and it doesn't take a lot of time. Another thing, real quick, I know I'm rambling, I'm so sorry. Another thing that people fear is that it takes a long time to build these systems. I built my entire customer journey on a Saturday. at home in my office on the side. It doesn't take long. It's and this is going to tie into what stood out in your book. So I'm going to hold it, but I'm going to connect this in a minute because I really want to talk to you about what I loved from this beauty right here. And it goes straight to mindset. So those are the 3 mindset issues I feel like I deal with quite a bit with systems.
Yeah, I love those. And especially the video, I think like being you, for example, like being the type of person you are, people want to see that personality. And sometimes that doesn't shine through just the text and all that. And I think also the words automation systems, like those, I think when I first heard those, I thought, like not capable of that. That sounds like a sciencey thing. Not me. I went for a Bachelor of Arts degree, but that's what it feels like. And now even when I would sign up for like the email programs and I'm getting those like I knew they were automated, but it's still interesting information. I'm like, how could I ever do something like that? Like it does feel so intimidating, but I loved how you broke it down to just, how can you simplify your business? It's not about what can you automate, what can you create into a system. It's how can you simplify it? And any way that you could simplify something, that's a system. That's a system that you could take and go with. And I love that you gave examples of both. Like you have your team website, which is, a huge step up. Majority of people don't have something like that, but you're, being so passionate as you are about systems, that was the next step for you. But also having that example with, the Google Docs and being able to just have that written down, because the amount of times when I got started, and I know several people who get started who are answering the exact same questions over and over and over again. It's like, just create a doc, just create a note, copy and paste it. Don't write that out every time. Like I remember when the first system I ever created, or whatever you can call it, simplifying your business system, was when people asked me, what do I do? And I was typing a paragraph because it's like, oh, there's a lot of things I do. Here's the list. Yeah. And I'm typing that, spending 10 minutes making sure this all sounds pretty and good. And then I remember I did this shortcut in my phone, and it was basically, something that I felt represented what I do. And I wrote that all down. And then you could make this shortcut where whenever you type in this one word, that whole paragraph would come up. Yeah. So I would type in, I think like my company name, I made that or I don't know, I took a random word that I would type in and that whole paragraph would come up. And I'm like, this is amazing. And it was just that step 1 to simplifying everything. And that's also what got me interested in systems. So I love hearing what you've done. I think that's amazing. And you just, again, you've made it more simplified for people too. So yeah, I would love to hear, since you did mention that, what did stand out from our book, and how far have you gotten so far? From the book, I know you were on a trip recently in Cancun, right? You were in Cancun. I saw you writing on it.
It's all waterlogged. I showed that to the ladies earlier. So, I'm y'all. Okay. If you ever had a book that you were kind of sad to see end because you knew that like there was nothing coming after, so thank goodness I have you guys to stalk. But I could have easily.
Trust me, there's more coming.
I know there is. I could have finished it, and I'll be honest with you. I find myself not wanting to finish it only because I don't want it to end. And I know that sounds cheesy, and you're going to think it's not true, but if you know me, it's very true. And I don't want to see it end, because I'm going to talk about 2 things that jumped out of the book at me. First of all, for people that haven't gotten their hands on this yet, do it. And secondly, this is not a cheerleader book. Dracy, you mentioned earlier about you need coaches, multiple coaches for different reasons. And I've always believed that you have a coach for a season and a reason. You have a specific coach at a certain time in your business to serve you where you are in a season and a reason, right? And that's always going to change. What you guys have assembled here, and I'm going totally off script here, but is the how. You're not saying, oh, you can do it. You're telling people the fundamentals of leadership and unwrapping the leader within all of us. And that is what we need. We don't need any more people telling us, I believe in you, which is great. But at some point, you need those tangible steps. And you guys have nailed that on the head with this book. So I love that. But so 2 areas in the book I want to point out. One, I just recently read, so it's really fresh in my mind. It's the story of Teisha. And another way that we relate is I'm a control freak. Okay. I'm a control freak. I'm type A. It's got to be my way or it's not going to happen at all. Teisha revealed in the book, she's the same way. And what I think is so powerful is her revelation of allowing your team to step up and take roles, because so many leaders feel that we're asking too much of our team, or they're not going to be comfortable doing it, or we don't have faith that they can do it the way we can do it. And is it going to be as good? And so her vulnerability and saying, hey, I'm going to ask these people on my team to contribute to whatever project they were working on, really made an impact to me, because I feel like it gave me permission to kind of do the same, because I am the control freak of life. And so I appreciated your vulnerability. There's a lot of vulnerable moments in this book. But I want to tie back to mindset. I've shared this with you ladies. I can't stop thinking about it. Is the story of the Cherokee legend of the wolves and the wolf that you feed. And in a nutshell, Dracy does a beautiful job of breaking down the legend of we all face these two wolves. We have the envy, the anger, just the dark wolf. And then you've got the angel wolf. I've actually envisioned them on my shoulders, like the devil and the angel, but I have the black and the white wolf, and they're on my shoulders. And the good wolf is prosperity and love and growth and sharing. And, the wolf that wins is the wolf you feed. And that made such an impact on me in network marketing, especially in the world of social media and network marketing. How many times do we see ourselves and others get trapped in this comparison game, or I'm not good enough, imposter syndrome? And I didn't know social media coming into this. I had to figure Instagram out just, like the rest of the world. And I was surely not convinced I knew how to social sell. And had I fed that wolf of, you're not good enough, it's a saturated industry, you're not going to be successful, or I can't share my systems with people, they're going to see success instead of me, and I'm not going to be able to get that credit. If I would have fed that, I wouldn't be here today. But instead, when we feed that good wolf and we believe that there is an abundance of knowledge for us to learn the skills in social media that we need to be successful, I'm walking proof of that. I figured it out. And then with coaches like both of you ladies, and I've known Teisha longer. I've looked up to her for growth. And if you guys didn't feed the white wolf, right, the good wolf, you wouldn't be here sharing your wisdom with us. And so when you believe that there's enough in the world for all of us to be successful, and that mindset shifts from scarcity to abundance, and you feed that good wolf, that's the wolf that wins. And since I've read this book, I have caught myself feeding the wrong wolf. And this is the book that has pulled me out of that negative mindset that has shifted me when I've wanted to when I've wanted to do something and I knew that wasn't the answer, and I go to this side. It's truly is a visual on my shoulders, which is why I'm going back and forth like this. But those two areas of the book is, it's okay to let it go. It's okay to let others serve. I don't have to do it all. I shouldn't do it all. And to always feed the wolf that needs to win. And that's always the wolf of love above all else. So that's
Allyson. Well, Allyson, thank you so much. That is so inspiring. And I just wanted to say, I have captured so many notes just sitting here. I said the one and done, the video and the verbiage, which so is in line with our 4 V's. So you can imagine how that made me dance here in that one, and in turning automation into something special. There's a reason and a season for all of our coaches. And I really feel that you've come together with us to celebrate. And I really believe in our first time ever paid coaching session that we have launched from our masterclass. I really highly value. We're going to have to talk about pulling you in and being a guest speaker on that, so we can talk about a system more specifically. So let's talk some more. I've just thrown that in there. I know Teisha's going to agree. And my I'm running out of time on my computer. I just noticed it said battery's going dead, and I didn't plug it in. But I want to say, everything you're doing, you're coming from a place of love, and you are selling your position. You're loving on the people. You're creating systems. You're showing them the way. You're lighting up that torch. And I know you're going to have that right following. So we're here to help support you. So again, I want to say thank you so much. And following and finishing to this amazing podcast. I'm so blessed to be doing stuff like this with Teisha and fabulous guests like yourself. But I wanted to say, we're so proud that this is evolving into something bigger and greater all the time. And the fact that we've got our very first paid masterclass into our own program, our social media MVP, key. It is everything that you have talked about. It is allowing you to feed the white wolf so
Yes.
you can succeed in this actual industry. We'll make sure we'll put that link in there if anybody's listening to this, that they can go and see what this program is all about. But I absolutely know it's for people much like yourself, Allyson, that is coming in, that is coming from a place of love and growth and wanting to make a difference. So again, if you are struggling online to creating a brand and showing up online consistently, go check it out. Come and join us for an amazing ride, this 4-week program we're going to do. We want to see you all there. We got 3-tiered packages. So if you're just not really sure, we got our beautiful silver lining package for anybody that just wants to check it out. We got a gold package that's just like, okay, I want to put a Midas touch on things. And then we got our pink ribbon package. And this is, I'm all in. I am in our pink ribbon pink ribbon package is about promise to increase new business that is kick-ass. So let's see you next week. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And
Thank you guys.
So much, Allyson. You're amazing and wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you,
so
guys.
much, Allyson, for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Just thanks for sharing your inspiration. Our audience definitely got so much out of this. I'm so excited to go back and read the comments, but it was an amazing episode. So thanks for sharing your time with us.
Thank you, guys. It was wonderful being here.
Okay, thanks, guys. Take care. Bye. See you next week.